Sunday in the Vegan Soul Food Group, and I am Brooke Brimm, the founder of the group. The other admin of the group are Craig Brimm, my husband, Messiah Brimm, my daughter, Aja Brimm, my daughter, and Matthew Knowles is Ahmad. So I want to thank you guys for being members of the group. I'm going to show you the Seitan ribs that I'm making today. This is sort of a test recipe. I studied some things on the internet, plus I saw what you guys are doing, and I decided to give it a go. So I'm very familiar with using Seitan to make, I make sausages, I make fried chicken with Seitan, make it as ground beef. So this is vital wheat gluten, and that is the basis of Seitan. So I'm very familiar with working with vital wheat gluten. But from what I studied on YouTube and in the group and all around, I'm going to see if I can make ribs today. I've never done it. So we're going to do part one where I show you what I'm going to do. And then we'll come back later after it's done and we'll taste it and look at the texture and all of that. So first I'm going to use, this is 1.5 cups of vital wheat gluten. And then I'm going to also use 1.5 cups of this bean mixture that I made. Now this bean mixture is, I used dry pinto beans this morning in the Instapot. First I soaked them with the quick soak method, which is boiling water and then just leaving them covered for an hour. And that's the quick soak method. So that's what I used. So they were soaked in that way, and then I put them inside the Instapot and I cooked them for about 30 minutes on the Instapot so they were nice and soft. And I made this mixture. In this mixture is shallots, onions, green onions, garlic, maple syrup, let's see, chili powder. I use this Texas smoke seasoning, a little bit of Slap Your Mama. I use garlic. I use some steak sauce. I use some organic soy sauce. And yeah, that's pretty much what I use for the intense flavor. Oh, and I also use some mushroom seasoning, which I use in everything. And this bean mixture, I use it to make sausage that I put on the grill. And what I'll probably do if I want to make a breakfast sausage or a different kind of sausage, I'll add in some sage and some fennel and things like that to make it more sausagey to this same bean mixture. I make a bunch of it and then I freeze it. And when I want to make sausage or add intense flavor to my Seitan, I thaw it out and I use it. But this was made fresh today. So I'm going to pour it in here. And since ribs have like a stringy texture, and I'm going to tell you the truth, in my house, we haven't had ribs in years, and my kids have never had ribs, so they don't even know about the stringy texture. But just in the spirit of things, I decided to go with the stringy texture. So what I have here is king oyster mushroom. Let me show you. So I took a king oyster mushroom. I took 2 of those, and I shredded it with a fork. You just shred it with the fork all the way down, okay? So then I have the shredded king oyster mushroom, which is going to give me a lot of flavor. And then I also have some jackfruit in there. So I'll have 2 different kinds of texture in there. So this is the jackfruit that I use. And I use this one in brine. Usually I will soak this in water to get the flavor out if I'm trying to do, you know, something specific. But today I left it with the brine because there's so much flavor in there. It's only going to add more flavor. So these ribs are going to have more than one texture. So it's going to have the long string and the short string. Now I'm going to take it and I'm going to mix this around till we have a dough. I'm going to go ahead and use my hands now. Mix it so that you have a dough. Now the people on YouTube say to mix this, to knead this for 10 minutes. And I'm going to tell you, I've been making Seitan for a long time, and I've always been in the camp of not kneading it too much. And the reason why you don't knead it too much is if you want your thing to be delicate and you want it to be soft and juicy like chicken nuggets or chicken breast, you want it to be delicate. So since we're trying to make ribs here and ribs are a little more tough, I'm going to go with what YouTube says. And I'm going to knead it a little longer than I normally would. So you see the texture's in there. And I didn't add, sometimes I'll make seitan and I'll just use like a soy sauce base and I'll add dry seasoning in it. But today, since I have such an intense flavor inside of the bean mixture, I didn't add any extra dry seasoning to the dry mix. So it's a lot of ways you can play with seitan, well, Vital Wheat gluten. And this is just what we did today. So the next step of this, I know they say you're supposed to knead it more, 10 minutes they say, but I don't think I'm going to knead it for 10 minutes because I'm just not there yet. I'm not in that camp yet because it comes out, the more you knead it, it comes out pretty dense. So, you know, if you want it really dense, then go ahead and knead it. I don't know how dense I want it, so I'm not going to do it. Okay, so the next step is, let me wash my hands. Okay, so the next step is I'm going to take this dish and I'm going to fill it up with barbecue sauce. And I'm not making my own. This is just Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. You can make your own if you want, but I'm not doing that. And I'm going to mix it with another one. This one is called Bullseyes Every Day. And like I said, you can do whatever barbecue sauce floats your boat. Some people like it smoky, some people like it tangy. I like mine a little smoky and sweet. So I usually stick to Sweet Baby Ray's because I know what it'll do. So I'm going to mix that together. And then I'm going to take my seitan mixture and I'm going to form it into kind of a mass. And I'm not going to score this. Some people say score it. I'm going to cut them when they're done. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, so I put it in the barbecue sauce that way. I'm going to flip it over so it's nice and saucy. Okay, it's a little messy, but you don't want it to get too crusty at first. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in the oven for 2 hours on about 300 degrees. So 2 hours, 300 degrees, and I'm going to probably come back periodically, keep basting it, and I'm then going to come back in a couple hours and let you know what we got here. How did it come out? So I'm going to baste a little bit now. I'm going to let you know if these ribs are something you should try. But this is what it would look like. And as you see, the prep time, didn't take me very long, maybe. Well, that's not true because I did a lot of prep before I got to you guys. So it is kind of a preppy thing to do. It is going to take some time. But if you have your beans frozen, like I'm going to freeze these, you'll have it for one. So I'm going to put these in the oven for 300 on about 2 to 3 hours. And I will get back to you this afternoon and see what it's like. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, so I am back to show you the finished product of the ribs. So here they are. This is the ribs. And I'm just going to take a little bit out here. So they are firm. I was right about not having to knead them too much. And I also made some macaroni and cheese, some sweet potatoes, and some greens. So I want to just say a couple things. This is my bean sauce already packaged up. I put it in a food saver for it to, for me to package, freeze it flat. So I have 2 of those, just to say that. And I want to just also show you, this is my macaroni and cheese sauce. So I make this out of plant-based milk, lots of garlic, cloves, oil, smoked paprika, mustard. Today I use a little bit of horseradish just to see, and nutritional yeast. And I don't have the measurements, so don't ask me. I can post up the Soul Vegetarian recipe that I take it from. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and just dip up a little bit of what I made for today so you can see. Whoa. See what my macaroni and cheese looks like. And some greens. These are just candied yams, and I use a little earth balance, and I say greens, but they're sweet potatoes. And then here are my greens. Again, these greens are made with all vegetables, and I don't use any water. Obviously no meat, but I pressure cook these, so I don't use 1 drop of water. And that is my meal for today. We're about to eat. So let me just, real fast, let me taste the ribs that I made to see if it's any good. So you see the stringiness is there, the texture. It's a really good texture. Whoa, I'm really happy with this. It tastes really good. Yes. Oh, I'm really happy. I'm gonna be eating good today. Yeah. This is good. So, as I said, this is a trial run recipe, just based on what I knew about Seitan and the things that I researched. And baby, I love it. It's good. Time to eat. Bye.